What's up? I'm Dan Fredenberg, and this is another chance something or other, chance encounter. I'm here today with Ian Starkey down from Texas. Hey, what's up? I'm Dan Fredenberg. I'm a commercial real estate guy. I'm from the internet.
Water.
I'm too high to pronounce it right, man. You know.
Front of a house. It's going to be torn down soon. I understand that there are power lines that are getting kind of close. What's up again? This is Dan Fredenberg, and that there is we're seeing more properties like this being built. Let's do some stuff. Talk to you later. Bye. I'm here today with Ian Starkey down from Texas. He barely has any twang in his voice. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but Ian, this whole format is to introduce yourself real quick, just as if you were in a multifamily meetup or something like that, so that you don't have to. Sometimes you can just send a link. So who is Ian Starkey?
Who is Ian Starkey? Ian Starkey is a licensed real estate agent in Texas and is also an investor, real estate investor. What I focus on the investment side is apartment complexes and RV parks with a lot of upside. And for me, upside is usually a property that's underperforming. It's got some deferred maintenance, mismanagement, or just an old owner that doesn't want to spend the time or money to really bring it up to par with other products on the market. So we look for those. We look to buy those, take them over, and capture that upside, capture those returns so that ourselves and our investors can, make a lot of money and make a lot of passive money from these properties and just rinse and repeat. So yeah.
Good stuff. And so what sort of buy box do you have when it comes to like apartment complexes? How many units?
I'm a little scattered in that right now we're very hungry. We're looking at, so when it comes to the syndication side, which is where myself and a couple other co-sponsors, co-general partners will come together and buy a property together. Our buy box for that is going to be about 100 units plus. 100 units plus in a primary or secondary market. So primary market would be like Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Houston, San Antonio. A secondary market would be kind of a smaller city, not a real small, like in the middle of nowhere town no one's heard of, but more so just not a primary market. So an example of that would be, let's talk about Longview, Texas. I'm looking at a property in Longview right now. Talk to the broker, talk to our mortgage broker, talk to some partners, talk to my contractor. A lot of conversations involved just to see, okay, should we move? Should we not? So that'd be a secondary market for me. I like Longview. I looked at a deal up in Lubbock. So just to give you an idea of what a secondary market is. So primary, secondary markets, properties with some value add, with some upside. That's what we're looking for.
Awesome. And just in case you're here from Ian's crew and you don't know who I am, I'm Dan Fredenberg. My background is in technology, and that's what I'm using to co-GP these days on multifamily deals. The idea is that you're going to need somebody to handle the tech, and you're going to run it a lot more efficiently if you understand someone who knows it backwards and forwards on things like maintenance and inventory control for regular maintenance things, just anything like that. But I tend to be helping people in a co-GP capacity with their marketing and social media presence and all that kind of fun stuff. I've got a new thing I want to use in different multifamily meetups where people have a chance to identify what their motivation is, because one of the problems you're going to run into if you're networking in real estate is you get some people who are absolute beginners and they don't know which role they're going to be running. You can see on my screen here, I've got 6 different roles in a multifamily deal written out here, but most people don't know what they're actually going to do, but they do know why they're motivated, this is this is the little presentation that I want to give. It's about 2 minutes long. So the first reason why somebody would want to buy part of an apartment complex is because they're trying to preserve their purchasing power. In other words, they have a nest egg. They just don't want their net worth to actually go down in terms of purchasing power. So that's the first reason. Second reason is my reason, which is I'm looking to trade time for wealth. As a tech guy, I'm a high earner. So I have a choice of either, getting the big salary and then investing into these assets for wealth and passive income, or I could skip that taxation step of income tax and just go directly and in other words, have my work directly rewarded by co-GPing on these deals. The next reason why somebody will want part of a building is to fast track their retirement. And obviously, if you're involved yourself, you're going to care way more than anybody else. So that's why some people actively co-GP when they're trying to fast track their retirement. And then the next reason is for people who are super duper ambitious. They just have to have the biggest yacht, and they have to yell at everybody else who has smaller yachts to go away. In other words, they have a very tiny penis. And so that is another reason why some people want to have like $1 billion portfolio. And it's just like, well, yeah, everybody needs to know that there's no limit to my ambition. Now, the last reason why somebody wants a part of a building is that they have some sort of irrational need to help tenants. In other words, maybe they have some sort of social cause that they want to go for, help a certain sector of society. But those are the 5 reasons.
That is a very interesting point of view. Very, very unfiltered, I'll say. My motivation for getting into this business is I wanted to be a money manager. I wanted to be an asset manager. I wanted to be an expert in my space and provide so much value that when I just explain to people what I do, it blows their mind. So that you could say it's a little bit of ego, but behind that, let's dig a little deeper into that thesis is, I don't come from a wealthy family. My family is not poor. By any means, they're not poor. Well, as a majority, I have some family members that, they're struggling a little bit here and there, but I really I wanted more. I wanted more than what I was brought up in. I wanted more than what I saw kind of my cousins and other family members were brought up in. I was lucky to play sports and be exposed to a lot of different people, a lot of different, home lives, and, just a lot of different ways of doing life. And yeah, so I just wanted more for myself. And as I was, I think he mentioned it earlier, I used to play football. As I realized that football wasn't going to be a paycheck for me, probably about my second year of college, I started obsessing over the fact of, okay, how am I going to create this, incredible lifestyle for myself, as quickly as I can? Yeah. Really. I mean, seriously, I was very, very hungry on not money, but the lifestyle. And in order to have a lifestyle, you need resources, which resources in this economy, in this day and age, is money. So researched a couple different careers, a couple different facets. I got into the thought of asset management from a financial advisory perspective. So managing retirement accounts, managing, providing life insurance products. And I actually did that prior to doing this. And being in that industry, it's a great industry, a great way to add a lot of value to a lot of people's lives. I just didn't like it. Once I got into it, once I was inside the walls, looking from the outside in, I was like drooling. I was like, I got to get in. I got to get, like, this is it. Once I got in, I was like, man, like, I love financial advisors. I have a lot of friends that are advisors. And I still keep great relationships, great contact with them, but it just wasn't for me. I mean, I was literally so bored doing that. I would bring bigger up advisors in the firm into meetings with me. We'd be pitching a full financial plan, and I'd literally fall asleep. I mean, I was just like, it didn't excite me, and that's not, I mean that in the most like transparent way. It just wasn't exciting for me once I was doing it. I was like, gearing up. Then I started doing it. I was like, this is cool. So
Yeah.
kind of started doing some more research. I actually stumbled across Grant Cardone when he was just starting to 10x his real estate investing. Um, Stumbled across him, started networking, started meeting more guys, and I figured out, the word syndication or fund management, and realized that, man, if I can be the guy that can put these things together, I can find these deals, put them together, structure them, operate them, and ongoing asset manage them, and make a lot of people money. That's it. That's it
Mhm.
right there. And I've always, even as a kid, I was obsessed with real estate. I thought these big, massive buildings, big, cool house. I just always thought they were cool. Most people do, but like
Mhm.
I just kept obsessing over them. I was like, how can I buy this skyscraper?
Yeah.
I look at buildings, and even as a child, I think, how does that work? Like, who owns that? Who built that? Like, can I build it? Should I try to build it? No shit, I can own these things. So it was a thought, it was a road, it was a journey that just kind of finally came across my mentor, Tim Bratz, who I invested in his course, invested in his mastermind as well. He laid out his entire playbook. So I studied that thing like I was preparing for fall camp,
Mhm.
met with his whole team, created great rapport, great relationships with everyone on his team, and just learned the game and started running with it.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's kind of a long answer, but I wanted to really take you down
Yeah,
my
yeah,
journey of what
and I
I
think
went
I
through.
got like what your main point is, which is that it is ambition, but the thing is, it's not just that superficial. You can't just like pawn it off. And one of the things that like when I'm adjusting and tweaking that little joke, because I'm trying to loosen people up too, right? Because like as you're
Yeah.
saying, so much of the stuff is so vanilla, it's so dry, and it's really tough. But part of the reason why I wanted to make that joke is because if you're fast tracking your retirement, then that means that there's some level of modesty about it, right? Which is like,
Mhm.
because like basically from the level of success that I've had, I just realized that there's a limit to a lot of people's ambition that they're not even aware of. They'll like really, when you have a net worth of like $14 million, are you still going to be pushing to say it's like no, we got to keep on 10xing this. We got to like it's got to get like I'm not even going to stop at 1 billion. It's I think most people, they will eventually say it's like, man, I have more money than I'm ever going to be able to spend. That's enough. And that's what kind of where the joke comes from about like compensating for something. So like where do you see yourself topping out? Like are you aiming for the billions, or are you trying to aim for like 100 million, or where are you looking at as far as looking up?
Looking up, I'm gonna keep going until I don't love it anymore, because at this point it's becoming more of a passion and a purpose. And let me explain why. Passion, because like I said, I think these buildings and these structures are awesome. You having that much power and responsibility over someone's home, the place where 1 to 500 people are going to drive in every day, sleep, do life, do Christmas, Thanksgiving. I mean, it's so much bigger than that. So for me, the passion, it's actually getting stronger as a passion to be a true steward of capital and true asset manager for these properties. And then also, with that, it's a responsibility in that, having the ability, having the knowledge and the resources I have to go out and buy these things and not only improve the quality of life for the tenants there, but also bring people on with me. I mean, literally, it's been a breakthrough that I had this conversation with a gentleman. His name is Yaden Smith. He told me that he had this one investor that, he was 60 years old in retirement, was kind of concerned about his money, and if he was going to be able to make it through life with enough money, because he had saved up, he'd saved up about, I think it was 750 grand in his retirement account, and he couldn't work anymore. And he was a little nervous because, I mean, we saw what happened to the stock market in the last 24 months. It's been a roller coaster. So, you know, this sponsor, Yaden, he got this investor into a deal, And now that deal is going to make him 75 grand a year for the next 5 years. After that, he'll take that money, roll into the next deal. He's going to make even more. So, it's such a powerful tool because these assets will appreciate, they'll provide cash flow. And it's just so powerful that I really do feel compelled to get as many people invested in real estate as I can. Mm-hmm. So like Grant Cardone, love his message, love his hustle. I don't love his returns. So I'd like to go toe to toe with that guy and kind of me say, hey, here's his returns, here's ours. Now, he's doing some different deals now. He's buying some more upside stuff, but no, man, it's a passion, a purpose to empower others and share that abundance. And it's a passion because I think these things are fucking cool and I want to buy as many as I can and make them even better. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I think that's a great answer. So the second thing, and I know we need to call it off soon, is the die that I have here for describing the actual roles in running a building. And I think that it's a really good model for getting people to conceptualize the whole thing and memorize it so that they got it locked. So let's talk about the different roles so that you can help identify, or you can poke holes if you find any. So the first side is that I use to describe myself, a repositioner. A repositioner is a person, and of course this is for the audience's sake, but a repositioner is a person who's in acquisitions, but they also do the underwriting and they figure out if there's any upside or whatnot. So they're the ones that are actually closing the deals. But part of repositioning, because real estate is competitive, is you need that upside that you described. And the best way to do that is to go to a contractor and fix the place up so you can charge more rent. Because chances are, if they could charge more rent, they would. So those contractors are a real good idea. But the other problem I have as a repositioner, being from the internet, is I need somebody to run the freaking thing. I need the operations people. You'll notice the money going down the toilet because if money can totally go down the toilet if it's not operated well, but also because it includes the financial side, the bookkeeping, some of the other business parts, marketing and whatnot. That's part of operations. Now, if you're from the internet like me, as I said, the only other problem is you need a local. You need somebody to check up to make sure the operations people are doing what they're doing. And just, for the audience's sake, don't try and get your operators to do the contracting because it could be very bad. But, you need somebody who's local who can come in on a moment's notice, check in, and make sure that everything's up to snuff. So that's your whole team. And then all you need to do is you go to the financiers and say, hey, here's my deal. Here's the details. Give me a loan for a whole whack of money so I can buy it. And they'll be like, sure, except we need a sponsor, a KP, somebody who already owns an asset of that size. And you need the balance sheet equal or greater to the value of the actual loan. So on this die here, I think it's pretty comprehensive on running a deal and doing a deal. So you're on the repositioner side, and you're also on the capital raising side, which also makes you a financier. Is that a good description of you, or like you outsource all your operations, or where are you on these faces?
So I would be on every side of that cube. And with the KP side, that's where I leverage the partners and the other groups that I work with. Is full transparency, this day, August 13th, 2021, I could probably not get a loan from a bank for 10 million myself, but the partners and the guys that I buy these deals with, the other groups I work with, there's about 5 that I'm like literally we drink together, we talk on the phone for hours. We're like almost best friends. That's where I leverage my partnerships with them, is they have been there, they've done that. We got a great relationship. We got a great thing going. And when I find a deal, they find a deal, we call each other up and say, hey, let's go buy this thing together.
Right.
So I would say I'm on every side of the cube, but about halfway on that KP side, just right now. So yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. So like, I think that that paints a really clear picture for everybody when they're interacting with somebody. Like if you know the motivation and the sides of the cubes, because like that's the thing. It's like, sure, maybe you're in operations, but have you ever operated a 250 unit property? Because like that's a different deal from operating a 40 unit, right? It's better than nothing. But so you tend to have people who they'll do a little bit of this and they'll do a little bit of that or whatever. And so I'm glad you gave that answer. So Ian, if somebody wants to contact you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Yeah, I'll drop my counter link below. I'll drop my email, my counter link. Feel free to shoot me an email. It's ian@whitewavecapital.co, not .com. .com is owned by my doppelganger that I need to find. So I'm looking for you. .com.
Break his legs.
Kidding. But no, I'm kidding. So ian@whitewavecapital.co, or just hit my counter link, book a time, or check out our website, whitewavecapgroup.com. We got a lot more great content, a lot more great educational pieces coming out there. So check it out.
Awesome. And can you describe the best person, like the person you can help the most if they're already going to be going into a real estate deal, if they're thinking about a real estate deal, who's the best person that you can help more than anybody else?
The best person that I could help is someone that loves what they do now. Either I most gravitate towards doctors and the high level sales guys and gals. Someone like that who loves what they do, wants to diversify their income, diversify their investments, and wants to get involved in real estate with an operator who is tried and tested and ready to help them grow their money passively.
And has a huge network to rely on. It's checking all the boxes. Good stuff. All right. So thanks a lot for coming on today, Ian. We'll see you around. This has been another Chance Encounter. See ya.
See ya.